we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go to the information. There is a figure given out here. In the figure above, the measures of all 5 segments are equal. What is the ratio of the length of LK to the length of JM? Not shown. Okay, here we have a figure. Actually, it's a 4-sided polygon, and we have 5 line segments: LM, MK, KJ, JL, and LK. All the 5 line segments are equal in length. Okay, now let me assume the length of one of the line segments as 2x. And for the remaining 4 line segments, I will have the same length because all of them are equal in length. So 2x, 2x, and here we have 2x. Since all the 4 sides are equal in this 4-sided polygon, so it is a rhombus. So in a rhombus, always the diagonal will bisect each other and they'll be perpendicular to each other. So let me draw the second diagonal of the rhombus, which is JM. Already one of the diagonals is given, that is LK, and now I have drawn the second diagonal of this rhombus, JM. So always the diagonal will perpendicular to each other, and also they will bisect each other. So bisect means like the diagonal. For example, if I consider the diagonal JM, it will bisect the diagonal LK. That means it will divide the diagonal LK into 2 equal parts. We know the length of the diagonal LK is 2x. So since this diagonal LK has been divided into 2 parts by the diagonal JM, so the length of this part has to be x and this part has to be x. And also, as I said earlier, the 2 diagonals will always be perpendicular to each other in a rhombus. Okay, now let me assume the length of this part as y. Then what is the length of this part? So this one also must be y. So because the diagonals will bisect each other, so the diagonal JM will be divided into 2 equal parts by this diagonal LK. So if I assume the length of this part is y and the length of this part also must be y, so then the length of JM equals to 2y. Already we know that the length of LK is equal to 2x. Okay, our aim is to find the ratio between LK and JM. Okay, now let's solve for this y in terms of x using the information you have over here. Now let's say this is a point O. Now let me consider the right triangle JOL. In this right triangle, I'm going to solve for y in terms of x. So let me consider the in right triangle. Let me write over here JOL. Okay, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem in the right triangle JOL. So Pythagorean theorem says the sum of the squares of 2 legs of a right triangle always equals to the square of the hypotenuse. Here JL is hypotenuse because this is a side which is opposite to right angle. So now let me square this side and this side, then I'm getting x square positive y square equals to the square of the hypotenuse, which is 2x the whole square. So my aim is to find the value of y in terms of x so that I can get the length of JM in terms of x. Okay, so x square positive y square equals to, when I square this 2x, I'm getting 4x square. Okay, now let me subtract x square from both sides. When I do so, this positive x square, negative x square will cancel. I'm getting y square equals to, when I simplify this one, I'm getting 3x square. Then I take square root on both sides to get up the square for the y. So the square root and square will cancel out. Then I'm getting y equals to, okay, so like 3 is not a perfect square, so it will remain same inside the square root. But if you take square root for this x square, it will come out as x. So then y equals to x times square root of 3. Okay, now I got the value of y. So then JM equals to, already we know that 2y. That means 2 times for y, we can plug in stuff for that is x times square root of 3. Okay, since our aim is to find the length of, to find the ratio of the length of LK to the length of JM. First, let me write LK over JM. So equals to LK, already we know that it's 2x. And for JM, just now we got the length, that is 2 times x times square root of 3. So here this 2x and 2x will cancel. I'm getting 1 over square root of 3. So here the denominator is an irrational number. Usually when we get an irrational number in denominator, we will rationalize it. So to rationalize the denominator, I have to multiply both numerator and denominator of this fraction by square root of 3. So 1 times square root of 3 is square root of 3, and square root of 3 times square root of 3 will become 3. So the ratio of the length of LK to the JM is square root of 3 over 3. So we find the square root of 3 over 3 in option A. So the correct answer choice for this question is option A.